Good morning, everybody. It is December 16th, 2022. It is 3:19 in the morning. Okay. This is the 2004 preface or preface of Stick a Geranium in Your Hat and Be Happy. Okay. The book table girls used to play a little game when we traveled together during my years of touring the country with the Women of Faith conference. I went to a Women of Faith conference. I have a t-shirt in one of the videos. In each different city where the conference was held, they noted the time when the first woman came up to my book table, laid her hand on the volume with the pink cover, and said, "This book saved my life." The earliest recorded time, I believe, was in Cincinnati at 4:15 p.m. More than an hour before the doors even opened for the Friday night session. The woman was one of the workers in the arena, and she stopped by as we were setting up to let us know what an impact Geranium, as we call it, had made on her life after her daughter had been killed in a car crash. I'd like to say I planned all along that this book would sell 1 million copies, be translated into dozens of languages around the world, and still be going strong 14 years later. After all, it's every author's dream. But the truth is, what I really wanted to do was to help that one unknown woman in Cincinnati who had lost a child, as well as an unknown broken-hearted mother in Portland who had just found out her child was homosexual. I wanted to reach out one-to-one, heart-to-heart, to help that one freshly hurt mother who felt as though no one could possibly understand the depth of her despair. Well, sister, I understand. I've seen the view from the edge of the abyss. I have been a broken-hearted woman. I still am. And I know that in our pain, we hurting parents turn to many different comforters, friends, pastors, counselors, support groups. All of them can be valuable and effective, but what worked best for many of us was simply another mother who had been through heartache herself and who had came alongside us to cry with us, to model a firm grip on God's loving promises, and then to gently nudge us back to normalcy, a place we thought we'd never see again. One woman told me, "Barbara, you taught me to laugh again, even though my heart is breaking." That was my goal in writing Stick a Geranium in Your Hat and Be Happy, to help one hurting mother learn to laugh again when she never dreamed that was possible. I'm so blessed to know that thousands and thousands of those hurting mothers, dads too, have let me come alongside them through the pages of this book. Many of them have returned the favor by sharing their back from the brink stories with me. At one Women of Faith conference, the mother of a gay child thumped the stack of geraniums and proclaimed, "This book saved my daughter's life." This was a slightly different slant on the usual statement, so I was curious. "Oh, your daughter read my book?" I asked. "No," the woman answered. "I read it, and it kept me from killing her." In one city, a young man came up to the book table. This was certainly unusual at a Women of Faith conference. The young man said he had just been released from prison. He was gay, HIV positive, and he'd been imprisoned for dealing drugs. All his adult life, his mother had begged him to return to God and to leave behind the destructive lifestyle he had sunk into. She prayed for me all the time, he said, but I turned my back on everything she tried to tell me. So he ended up in prison, and to pass the time, he read the books in the prison library. There weren't many, and he read them all, he said, except for one book that was obviously for women. It had a pink cover depicting a goofy-looking woman wearing a big hat with a geranium stuck in it. But boredom eventually won out, and one day he reluctantly borrowed that one last book he hadn't read. A few days later, he called his mother. I finally get it, Mom, he told her. I see what you've been trying to tell me. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching.